Hello, this is July 18th, 2018. And before starting all this, which will be the Infinity Series lectures, I think a good place to begin would be to clear up some of the popular misconceptions about myself, but more specifically, this lifetime. Now, all of you, and yes, I'm talking to you, some of you have had the opportunity, if you're listening to this, to have met me in person this lifetime. Now, I'm sure you've drawn all your conclusions, and none of those have been negative as a whole. Pretty much everyone that I have met this lifetime has concurred that I am, in fact, who I claim to be, that the beingness is there, that, I'm pretty much the same old Ron. And for that, I thank you. I thank you for all of your support, and for showing up and taking the opportunity to meet me. Now, for those of you who have not had the opportunity, I would like to clear up these misconceptions for you as well. Now, I'll just start by saying this has not been an easy road. It has been very rocky, to tell you the truth. And oddly enough, of all people, me, myself, I think was more surprised than anything. After all, no one has known what's on the other side of death, at least until now, or at least in any recent history, or at least that I'm aware of. And so here you have me, and it's not just exclusive to me. There are many returnees and individuals that have come back, specifically this lifetime, and they've recalled their interactions and experiences with Scientology. I think that I've happened to do this on a greater level, more or less. But it's not exclusive to me again. And there may even be individuals out there that have made this transition a lot smoother than myself. But what I can say is it's not easy. You come into this lifetime with a sense of not knowing who you are, knowing that you are part of something or had belonged to something that was great. You're always looking towards something. And that could be very confusing, especially when you're younger or a young adult. And believe me when I tell you, it can lead to a whole lot of trouble. So that brings me to my next thing. A lot of people like to throw around the fact that I'm an ex-con. Yes, I am an ex-con. I did quite a bit of prison time in California and other places. I make no excuses, justifications, or qualms about that. And I get the question of, well, you being L. Ron Hubbard, why? And why on earth? Of all bodies to take, or places to return to, or things to do this lifetime, would you spend it there in prison? Oh, why didn't you just pop out of the womb in some rich, affluent family and continue your work? Well, to be honest, I have no answer for that. At least not yet. And it's quite simple. I have no idea. What I can tell you is it really, I don't feel, works that way. And I've seen quite a bit of evidence of that. And that's all. But I do get the sense that I chose the life, the parents, and the lifestyle that I led because, you can't just pop out, continue as is, right? It just doesn't work this way. Now, of course, I believe the main reason for this is to hit the ground running, I should say. You have to really rub elbows with other men and women. And what better to learn the reality on the ground, the humanitarian situation in society, than with a bunch of convicts and criminals. And oddly enough, I felt a certain kinship to these individuals, at least early on, because, these were the type of fellows and gals that they just did not care. What you saw was what you got, and they even had their own strange ethical code. Now, it may not have been moral in society's terms, but it was definitely ethical. Some of these guys I grew up with, man, they'd go through a door with me any day, come hell or high water, they'd back me up. And there's a certain attraction to that. Versus the implanted, enforced societal view of just do as you're told, or do what looks good on the surface, yet, people are riling inside to get out and, express their base natures or their, anger with society and other people. And that has a bunch of drawbacks in and of itself, in a society. And the United States of America is not the first, or will be the last, for that to occur. Well, I shouldn't say that. Hopefully if we continue to strive hard and apply Scientology, we can reverse this trend. Oh, actually, I believe we can, and are reversing that trend. Okay, so I'm an ex-con. Again, so fucking what? Again, no excuses, no qualms about it. And now you know. Another popular misconception is I'm just some guy that, pops up out of the blue and I'm in it for the money. Well, let me tell you, that could be far from the truth. The reality is, I probably make less on average than somebody that, earns minimum wage, and I probably work twice as hard. Some days I put in 16 to 20 hours of work between writing, lectures, communicating, answering emails, doing research, delivering, auditing. 16 to 20 hours per day to rarely get compensated. But there's been a lot of wonderful individuals that have compensated me in exchange for my efforts or auditing, or a lot of people, and I'd like to thank you all, have just given me raw donations because they feel I'm the legit article, and I continue to do what I do. So no, I'm not really in it for the money, and nor do I believe I will ever achieve the same success I did last lifetime. Again, that's another thing I don't believe just happens right off the bat or happens in concurrent lifetimes. Maybe it will in the near future, if I can research this all out, pound out all the out points, and get it to a point where we can reincarnate, however you'd like to put it or view it, into new bodies and retain the majority of our experience and knowingness lifetime to lifetime. But what I can say for certain is it sure did not occur this time around. So that's another proper misconception about me. And another is I'm some type of superhuman god, deity, and again, completely blown out of proportion. I've said it time and time again. I'm a man just like anybody else, a spiritual being just like anybody else. Granted, I have a knack for doing what I do, and I still continue to have that knack for doing what I'm doing. And a lot of people have taken as I have some superhuman acts. And no, that's again far from the truth. It's a bunch of pumped up PR by the church, or the mainstream church of Scientology. They literally took me and deified me. Was I a man and a person with my own flaws and errors? Of course. I have a whole catalog of them today. But the difference is I'm very OT about it. I don't let them dictate my actions and affect my objectivity. Did I have a whole host of them last lifetime, rather? And yes. Yeah, I did a little bit of cocaine, did a little bit of drugs here and there. I really had to test the limits. And I would not recommend that to anybody else. And it took its toll, believe it or not. But again, I had a knack for testing all possible limits to see how far it could be pressed. And unfortunately, a few times and on occasions, I overstepped those bounds. And just like anybody else, from time to time, I could be an asshole. I'm not some type of saint. Far from being a saint. And I've never really been a nice guy. I've been a humanitarian. I've been a kind and a humble man. But don't get it mistaken for weakness or anything else. It's far from it, especially this lifetime. Somebody wants to go to blows, I'll go there. I've been there, I've done that. Somebody wants to pronounce me fair game, I could equally do the same thing. But people that are smart and people that are OT avoid those things at all costs, because at the end it's a lose-lose situation and becomes counterproductive to what we're actually trying to accomplish. So again, no, I'm not perfect, but I strive every day to be better and better, and I also strive to help and improve mankind and improve the lot of others, because one thing I am not is a weak individual and never have been. And I believe that truly strong men and women in OTs, they look out into their world, they look out into their sectors and their environments, and they see how they can improve upon those conditions, and they do it, not out of any sort of duty, loyalty, or vested interest. It's just simply that, hey, I'm stronger, or hey, I feel I'm really in better shape than these other people, or they are in better shape. And that's what separates those from that are and are not. You see, they look out, they see, they do, and that's all. They don't make justifications for it. They don't make explanations for it. They do it simply because they can. And I do, and I practice Scientology and help others simply because I can. I've come to that point to where I can. And it's really that simple. So enough on that. What can we look for into the near future? There is a lot going on right now. There is a lot of research I'm developing. I'm tracing down some outpoints with some of the things in the upper level technology. I'm streamlining it. I may even reissue a whole entire new upper bridge with procedures and protocols. Again, I don't have enough data at the moment to say that with any certainty, but I will just say there is a lot going on. And with that being said, I think that covers most of the popular misconceptions about me. And now you've had the opportunity to hear it from the horse's mouth. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Make your own determination and judgmentation upon what I say and what I do. And outside of that, hey, I'm not here to dictate anything to anyone. I will continue to do what I'm doing. I hope that you will participate in it, and we can get this show on the road here into the near future. And with that, you have a great day. Hey, and I hope we talk sometime.